Today's my subject decision theory analysis. Starting the beautiful name of Almighty Allah, who is the most kind and most merciful. I am a student of Department of Business Administration, University of Sindh, Campus Larkana. This is Abdul Razaque from BBA 1 batch. My roll number is 5. Today's subject is decision theory analysis, submitted and presented to the Professor Ayaz Ali Metlo. Today's subject outline is what decision theory analysis, second concept of probability, third is a variant of SMART. Number first, what is a decision theory analysis? Decision theory analysis key terms: decision, a choice made between alternative courses of action, an association of uncertainty; analysis, a systematic examination and evaluation of a data or information by breaking into its component parts to uncover the interrelationship. We collect data and after that we analyze it, uncover it. Decision analysis management techniques in which statistical and psychology tool applies to solve the problem. The objective of decision analysis to most advantageous alternative under the circumstances. Its example can be defined that we wanted to learn about the poverty rate in Pakistan. We will first of all we will take data. After that we will uncover it and analysis, and we will take a decision. Decision theory analysis. Decision theory is an interdisciplinary approach to arrive at the decision that are the most advantageous given an uncertain environment. Understanding decision theory analysis. Decision theory brings together psychological, statistical, philosophy and the mathematics to analyze the decision making process. It combinedly has the four steps: psychologically, statistics, philosophy and the mathematics to analyze and make a decision of one side. Three main areas of decision theory analysis. Number first, descriptive decision theory. It examines how rational and logical beings make decisions. And it's such a conditions where we don't understand whether it is good or bad. Prospective decision theory analysis theory. This tries to provide guidelines for agents to make the best possible decisions given an uncertain decision making framework. It provides guidelines in prospective decision theory. It provides a guideline to the agent to make a possible decision. Normative decision theory, it provides guidance for making decisions given a set of values. Where it provides guidance for making a decision given a set of values during decision theory analysis. This is ability of decision analysis to provide an audit trail means that it is possible to use the analysis to produce a defensible rationale for choosing a particular option. Raised consequences make able to understand what is happening. It means raised consciousness. It means make able to understand what is happening around us or around you. Commitment, a promise to be a loyal to someone who works very hard. Commitment, a promise to be loyal to someone. As I am loyal to my family, I am loyal to any organization. Partial decision analysis, not complete, tending to treat one side. It needs to treat it. Means it's not complete decision given. anything which is given or I had given a time rationally based on facts, having the ability to think about the clearly, having the ability to think about it clearly. Decision analysis will not will not solve a decision problem, nor is intent to it intent to. It purpose to produce insight and promote creativity to help makers make better decisions. Means it helps the decision makers to take a sound decision, to take a better consequences by giving insight to us. The anatomy of decision define the problem. For instance, there is one problem has been held in Pakistan. Why the poverty poverty ratio is increases. Why the poverty ratio is increases means we have to define. The its example can be that there is a majority of the born the children are born today day by day increasing. Birth is day by day increasing. That's why people would not be able to feed them. Identify the criteria why it has been held. Identify it because the people's birth of the birth is so more in country, by the ratio is so high, so that's why. And weight the criteria how much in a 1 year, how much children birth has taken place in a 1 year. 1 million or 10 lakh 15 lakh means where the criteria how much is birth is taking place in 1 year in Pakistan. Generate the alternatives how to make it in control, how to mitigate, how to control it, how to satisfy, how to make the as satisfiable to satisfy the people that they should not have to but in a 1 year but they should have to feed like this. Generate alternative means create if there is a poverty ratio, then we should have to create an employment in our country to reduce the poverty. Rate each alternative on each criterion. If the poverty, we should have to rate it, and we can have create alternative employment. We have created another things alternative to reduce the poverty. Compute the optimal decision. We should have to compute all the decision the data, and after that we should have taken optimal decision. Concept of probability. What is probability means? Quantifiable likelihood chance of the occurrence of an event. Probability is estimated annually through repeated random sampling and is represented numerically as a between 0 impossibility and 1 certainty in a probability. The extent to which something is likely to happen means we take a sampling, random sampling in a probability. After that, it can be between 0 impossibility and 1 certainty. Keywords used in probability. Experiment, a process that leads to the occurrence of a one in only one of several possible observations. Means we do a first experiment. During possible observations we do experiment. Outcome, a particular result of an event. An event is a collection of one or more outcomes of an experiment. Approaches to assigning probabilities. Classical probability, empirical probability, subjective probability, objective probability. Approaches to assigning probabilities. Classical probability, this is based on the assumption that the outcomes of an experiment are equally likely. It's the probability of an event. Classical probabilities formula is number of favorable outcomes total number of possible outcomes. Example possible outcome is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Event of possible outcome is 2, 4, 6. As 6 is equally likely mutually exclusive, outcome is 3, which are favorable occurrence of an even number. For us, Mn is equal to 3, 6. 3, 6 divided by 1 upon 2 is equal to 0.5. Means number of favorable outcomes is 3 is, and total number of possible outcomes is 6. Its answer is 0.5. Approaches assigning probabilities. Empirical probability, the probability of an event happening in the fraction of the time similar events happened in the past. Empirical probability is formulas number of times the event occur, total number of observations. Example, an insurance company knows from for the past data that all the male 50 years old, about 60 out of even 100 will die within 1 year. 60 divided by 100 is 1 lakh is equal to 0.006 answer. Approaches assigning probability. Subjective probability, the likelihood probability of a particular event happening that is assigned by an individual based on whatever information is available. Means numeric measure of a chance in the likelihood of an event of occurrence. Objective probability, likelihood of a specific occurrence based on repeated random experiments and measurements, subject to verification by independent experts instead of a subjective evaluation. Some rules for computing probabilities: rule of addition, special rule of rules of addition, special rule of addition, general rule of addition, and rules of multiplication, special rule of multiplication, general rule of multiplication as well in the computing the probabilities has been used. Variant of SMART analysis. Basic terminology. Objectives are the more specific and easier to measure. The goals. Objectives are basic tools that underline all the plannings and strategic activities. An attribute is used to measure performance in relation to an objective. For example, if we have the objective to maximize the exposure of our television advertisement, we may use the attribute. Basic terminology. Value, something that the words. For each course of action facing the decision makers, we will be deriving numerical scores to measure its attractiveness to him. If decision involves no element of risk, uncertainty, we will refer to this score as the value of the course of action. Utility, something useful. Alternative, where the decision involves risk and uncertainty, we will refer to this score as the utility of the course of action. Variant of SMART. Value follows thinking. In this approach, you must determine your value, that is what is the objective, and hence what attributes are important to you. Only then do you create alternative that might help you to achieve these objectives. These alternatives are then evaluated in the same way as for alternative focused thinking. Variant of SMART swing weight. These are the drive from asking the decision makers to compare change or swing from the least preferred to the most preferred value. Means weight one attribute to similar change in another attribute. Up down of the attribute compare the change in life. SMART reservation first in a problem where has been necessary to separate benefits you might smarter than the SMART. This means that we should be very careful before we exclude dominated option from the further consideration. An action is morally right for the person if and I only if the person. Problem in SMART. A British company has one important contact to supply components regular to Poland. 4 methods of transport are being considered: air, sea, road and ferry, rail and ferry. The company distributed of managers have identified 4 relevant attributes for decision: punctuality, safety of cargo, convenience and costs. She also allocated weights of 30 to punctuality, 60 to safety of cargo, and 10 to convenience. The manager then rated the performance of each transport on the different attributes. The values assigned are shown below together. This is a problem smart. Air is 100, C is 0, random ferry is 60, rail ferry is 60, 70 is benefit 60, 0, 100, 60 is convenience, 80 is convenience for the sea, 100 road ferry, 0 for rail and ferry. Cost is 150, 1,50,000 for air, 90,000 for sea, road and ferry is 40,000, rail and ferry is 70,000. For A, determine for the form of transport which has the highest value overall. That would be weight allocated is punctuality is 30, safety is 60, convenience is 10. Air, sea, road and ferry is informed 30 multiply 100 multiply 30, 0 multiply 30, 60 multiply by 30, 70 multiply by 30, 70 multiply by 60, 60 multiply by 60, 0 multiply by 60, 100 multiply by 60. There in convenience 60 multiply by 10, 80 multiply by 10, 10 multiply by 10, 0 multiply by 10. Its total will be at 78,000 for 7,800 for air, sea for 4,400. Road and ferry is 28,100. Rail and ferry has gotten the 8,100 rupees. That's why the rail and ferry has the highest value in this 81 aggregate benefit. Before each form of transport, plot the value of overall benefits against costs and hence identify the form of transport which lie on the efficient frontier. We multiply 1,50,000 with 70, 800, 19.23 has come, 90,000 overall benefits we have got, and we multiply it by the cost, divided by costs. 1,50,000 divided by 7,800, 90,000 divided by 4,400, 40,000 divided by 2,800, 70,000 divided by 8,100. We got 19.23 in air, sea 20.15, 40.28 in road and ferry, 8.61 in rail and ferry. That's why rail and ferry and road ferry lie on the efficient frontier. Problem in small C, part C, if the manager would be prepared to pay 70,000 per year to move from the least safe to the most safe from the transport, all is remaining equal, determine which alternative she should select. A is 150, C is 90. We subtract 90,000 from 1 lakh, then there remains 60,000. We divide it by 100, then I got 600. We divide it by about 10. We also got a 60. Then 70,000 divided by 60, then there's 1,167. The manager pays extra benefit. Rail and ferry and road ferry, 70,000 minus 40,000, 30,000. We may also get 81,000 rail and ferry, road and ferry is minus 2,800. Then we got 53. Divided by 100, we got a 53 only. 30,000 divided by 53, its answer would be 567 as extra benefit. Thanks for watching today's video.